Welcome everyone. I'm in Southern California today with Steve and Shay from Abysmal Entertainment.
Hello.
And we are actually at the old Spahn Ranch, the Manson family ranch that they lived at for a couple years in the late 60s. Want to see what remains? Join us, shall you?
I never told anybody to do anything other than what they wanted to do. What you do is up to you.
This is Santa Susana Pass. This was the road that in the late 60s, the police officers, over 100 deputies actually showed up and actually raided the compound. And Spahn Ranch is right down there. You pulled here right off of this main road, and there was a dirt road that went to the other side of this pole. And you would actually drive straight down this little embankment onto the ranch itself. All the famous photos of Spahn Ranch, a lot of them were actually taken at the top of this little rock looking down into the valley. So I'm going to try to actually climb up there. Got to get to the top of this. Start by just basically walking up the side here. It might actually be not a good idea to get up here, but let's try it. Right down there would have been Spahn Ranch, all through here. The famous mountain range in the background, the bridge over there, the ravine down at the bottom, the horse corral over here in that corner. Pretty crazy. What you're looking at now is where the actual movie set of Spahn Ranch was, where the Manson family actually hung out and lived. The horse corral was over there. All of this in 1970 burned down, and the city or the state came in with bulldozers and pushed down the remnants of what actually remained down into this little ravine, this little gully down, right down here at the bottom of the hill. And there are still chunks of memories of the Manson family and Spahn Ranch all around here. Now you just have to imagine, back in the day, this was all dirt, a dirt driveway. And there's a famous photo of Susan Adkins standing right here in her bell bottoms. And in the background was that famous mailbox right against the road, right over there. Now over time, this embankment has actually been pushed up. The dirt has been pushed up a little bit higher. Back in the 60s, this embankment was not as strong as it is now. And right in here, somewhere in this exact area, was where the mailbox was, right in here. Where are you, mailbox? Right over here is probably the largest and one of the last big pieces left from back in the day. If you take a look right here at this old pole, this was the power pole that brought all the electricity into Spahn Ranch. Basically, it veered off of these main electricity poles down to this and then onto the ranch. And that is the largest relic still out here on the property. The crazy thing is, it still has the fire damage from probably when the ranch burned down in the 70s. Look at that. You gotta wonder how old these nails are that are right here. These are basically pieces of history. Now, if there wasn't already enough legend of this place, after George Spahn died, another guy took over the property, a guy by the name of Frank Retz. And he actually died crossing over this ravine. His car plummeted down there into that cavern. His wife and a friend survived, climbed up the side to get help, but when help arrived, he had actually perished. All in here was where the horses were actually corralled, and they actually had a business, basically a tourist business to rent horses. I think I may have found part of the horse corral fencing right down here. This is a relic here. So basically the way this worked was the fence post went in the ground like that, and all along it you would stretch wire. That could have actually been here from the late 60s, corralling all the horses right here. at Spahn Ranch. That is awesome. This is a pretty treacherously steep area, but just look down here. You can see remnants of the old ranch. You can see bed springs, metal posts. Over here is a pipe fitting for some sort of plumbing right there. All through here are tons and tons of relics. Right around in here during the police raid, there were some photos taken. And right here, you can actually see this rock formation in the background lines up perfectly. And basically, the cafe was right over here. The saloon from the movie ranch was all right here. That creepy tree in the shot as well. Some sort of a foundation right here embedded in the side. And then look down here at the edge of this very steep embankment. You see that piece of metal? This weird piece of metal right there sticking up. Wrought iron piece of metal right there. What the heck is that? Strange. All this concrete here, which is left over. These are pieces of the building, all scattered all through the property. Here's some shards of broken glass on the ground. And George Spahn, the original owner of the property, his house was actually right over here. You can see some boulders behind these trees. And to this side of the boulders, 3 different boulders over there behind the shrubbery, was where the house was. You can see this boulder that I am actually standing on. And George Spahn's house was actually right here. If you look at old photos of the road that ran by the ranch, you can see these 3 different rocks, and right off to the side of it was the actual house where the famous photo in front of the front door actually was. As the story goes, instead of actually paying for rent, George Spahn actually just had the Manson family living here to do chores, and part of those chores were some of the Manson women actually performing sexual favors on the elderly gentleman. And the crazy thing is, there are actually pieces of a bed right here, which makes you wonder, could this have actually been the actual bed where rent was paid in full?
We have a warning sign here. It says, "Warning, to remove or tamper with safety devices is punishable by law." How many safety devices do you think Charles Manson had out here?
Probably 0 to 1.
Probably.
What's the sign say?
That's it. That's all it says.
And look at this! What the heck is this doing here? An alien, a green alien, has been impaled through that stick.
I knew it.
What did you know?
This makes sense. I've heard of abduction stories in this area. You know, maybe, what if Charles Manson was actually an alien and he's come to start the alien invasion? This is a warning to all of mankind right here.
Now this is pretty crazy. Look at this. There are some carvings right here on the side. What do you think those mean? Manson. Someone has even carved an arrow leading that way.
Right.
I wonder what's that way. Is that a rattlesnake hole right there? What is that hole? Yeah, this is definitely rattlesnake country right here. This brings back a lot of memories because about 3 years ago, I actually saw a snake right down here, a rattlesnake.
Holy shit! Holy, that was a snake!
And I actually documented it on my daily vlog channel, YouTube/TheDailyWoo. And this brings back a lot of memories. Right in here is where I saw the snake.
Oh my God! You hear it? You hear it? You hear it? Listen, it's a freaking snake.
All along here, there are all kind of weird relics. Look at this barbed wire that's actually embanked up into the tree. It has actually grown into the tree itself. I might need a tetanus shot after touching that. Should be coming up upon the famous cave that the Manson family sat in, that famous Life magazine photo. And there it is. Holy cow. That's it. This is it. This is the actual Manson cave where 9 of the family members sat. And I'm sitting basically here in the same position, and to the right of me would be the other 8 family members that Life magazine came out here and took the photos. This is pretty crazy to be sitting right here where it actually happened. Obviously the girl that was sitting here, a little tinier than I was, so me scrunching up in here is not the most comfortable. But it's pretty awesome to be sitting here. The two trees that the hammock was actually dangling in front of, and all the family members there got their picture in front of that hammock. The really cool thing is the trees still match up, and right over here was where the hammock, this tree that's basically splitting up into a fork there, the hammock went straight across. That's the spot. Oh, look at that one.
That's scary.
It's kind of like a scary face. Some more barbed wire right along here. Okay, this is really interesting. Look at this piece of like metal, like wire, like rebar wire there, mounted in the tree. Wonder what that was used for. Straight ahead is what they call the Manson rock. This was where Charles Manson would actually sit on this rock and play guitar. Right here. They would probably have a bonfire set up. At the top of the hill was the Manson Ranch. They would walk down that hill, and Manson would sit right there. Now the people off property, the people that own the church off property, have actually come down here and cut up this rock. And the reason for that is supposedly Charles Manson carved his name in that section of the rock, and they have removed the rock for whatever reason. Someone has come down here and gotten rid of half of the Manson rock, removing the Charles Manson signature. Back on this tree behind me, you'll notice that there are actually bullet holes. They would shoot into this tree. If you look closely, you can see how there are embeddings in this tree all throughout here. That looks like a chunk of metal that's like somehow rusted inside of the tree. Right in front of me, I'm pretty sure this is another spot from those famous Life magazine photos. Tell me what you think. Right here was the spot where the family was sitting on these rocks. Someone was sitting here, a girl was sitting here, the water was going through this little rock formation. A lot has changed over the decades, of course. But tell me what you think. Is that the spot right there, decades later? What the heck is this? Off the side of the road. That is a little spooky. Behind me is the old stagecoach trail from way back in the day, and down at the very bottom way down there is Spahn Ranch. Now, the Manson family were actually car thieves, and they stole a lot of cars, and they would dispose of basically the shells of the vehicles. So they obviously cast them off the side of the stagecoach road, or they dropped them off the side of this hill. Basically stole the cars and just pushed them down into this bottom area. So there's one way over there. There's 3 or 4 right over down that way.
There's a lot of glass here too. So if you fall, the good part is you land on broken glass. You know, to soften your fall.
If you fall, don't put your hands down.
Right.
Just fall straight on your back. Whoa! Whoa! I don't have the best shoes on for this.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't have the best shoes on for this. Holy cow. Look at this. Yes. This is awesome. Look at that. Pretty awesome. Off over that hill is Spahn Ranch. So just off the Spahn Ranch property was this tree that the legend is told that Manson himself used to sit in this tree, perched in this tree playing guitar. But that is not what this spot is known for. This spot was actually where the Manson family murdered and cast the body of Shorty Shea.
The body was buried into the side of an embankment about 150 feet off the Santa Susana Pass Road, 1 mile west of Topanga Boulevard.
And this is the spot, the murder of Spahn Ranch local Shorty Shea. Now trying to find a spot called the baby caves, which is basically Manson would send the women down with the babies to hide from the police. Manson, the ranch, all over there. Spahn Ranch was right past that bridge, and right down here are the baby caves at the bottom of this super steep ravine. Whoa, whoa. So we're going right over there. Just watch out for snakes. Whoa! My foot got caught. Whoa. Whoa. You all right?
Good.
Okay, I think we found it, man.
Yeah?
Right over here looks to be the area where the baby caves are. Oh yeah, look. Here's the caves. Yeah, no joke. These are straight up hidden caves. So obviously the police would not know anyone was hiding down in here. Like, who would know this was even down here? Look at that. Wow. It goes all the way back in there deep.
Really?
Like way back in there. Yeah, look at this. Wow, look at that. That's crazy. And it's very sandy. The ground is like super sandy. Should go up in there. See what's back in here. Wow. This is like a perfect hideaway though. Huh. Man, you would never know anyone was back in here.
Mm-mm.
Crazy. Amazing.
It's nuts.
There are some like drawings, like carvings, like hieroglyphics in here almost. That could have been back in the day, or supposedly then one of the Manson girls, Sadie, carved her name somewhere in here. Her name is actually written somewhere in these rocks. Here's some other carvings, like embedded in the side of the rock here as well. Trying to use this as a grip and actually climb up this, go back up to this rock up here, right up here. Okay, I found where Sadie, Susan Atkins actually wrote her name. It would have been right here in this carving. It kind of looks like a face now, but this was actually the E, where her letter, the letter E at the last, so S-A-D-I-E. And actually one of the locals who live around here do not like people who come down here to visit the Manson spots, came down here and actually buffed this out and got rid of her signature that was right here engraved. That is pretty crazy, right there. Sexy Sadie. That's some history right there.
If you're going to do something, do it well. And leave something with you. Leave a sign to let the world know that you were there. Have a good day.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Thanks also to Stephen Shea from Abysmal Entertainment, who actually helped me out today. He's actually filming with his newfangled camera. I will be inserting some of the footage. If you saw some footage and you were like, wow, who filmed that. I also want to send a big shout out to 2 YouTubers who do a lot of videos out here. One of them is called Michael's Back Porch. I'll put the link down below. And then there's another guy by the name of Stoner Van Houten. He actually has done a lot of videos out here, and I would not have been able to find a lot of the stuff if it was not for him. So I'll put the link to his videos down below as well. All right, see you guys later.
Bye. Why is that question mark there?
Not sure. Okay, this might be the most treacherous climb yet, Stephen. We have to go right down there.
It's pretty scary.
Are you game?
Let's do it, just like Manson would have wanted.